Hey guys, Tarke here, and I'm just giving an update on the Chris Wilson Baeclast, which will be happening this Saturday at 8 PM New Zealand time. Converting that into your relevant time zone. For me in the UK, it'll be 9 AM. I will leave a timer down below, so don't worry. But I'm just going to quickly go through the rough first draft of the topics. If there's anything that you think that we missed, then feel free to leave it in the comments, but most of the stuff in here I'm very happy with. This has been sent to GGG. They will cut through it, add anything they want to add, cut anything they think is redundant or they're going to answer in a post or something. But let's just kind of get into it. I've broken it down to a few sections. So I have Legion-specific questions, Incubator-specific questions, 3.7 like general questions, Syndicate and Masters in 3.7, which I think is a very important point to kind of focus on, and then sort of PoE at large, like the future of Path of Exile going forward. So, to get into it, give us the Legion sales pitch. How it stand out from the closest comparisons, such as Breach? What aspects of Legion are you most excited for as both a developer and a player? Does each Legion feel distinctly different to fight against? What prevents the Timeless Monolith from locking slower players out of engaging with the League mechanic in a meaningful way without faster players having to wait around? Obviously, most of these questions, when Chris is answering them, will open up wider discussion, so there won't just be like yes, no answers, but I'm just going to whittle through them because there's quite a few. How does the Timeless Monolith allow both a chain tornado shot and a short-range cleave build to successfully tag enemies? How do you prevent certain kinds of skills from feeling like they are losing at the League mechanic? Will Legion spawns be problematic in smaller maps and constrained areas? If not, or why not? What led to Legion encounters allowing players such control over difficulty? If this goes well, can we expect future mechanics to allow this kind of fine control? Do you honestly expect players to not just tag every mob as soon as their build is able? How much reward can players expect from an average monolith as compared to things such as Abyss, Breach, etc.? Do the opposing armies actually fight one another, like the enemies in Harbour Bridge for instance? And do they regularly kill one another at a decent rate? How impactful can we expect the mechanic to be while leveling? Are we in danger of more quarry farming strats this league? I hope not. Are there any significant rewards locked behind endgame content? Do all 5 legions start showing up from the start? Also, should we expect a rarity tier between the factions, for example, Chayula? Are all of the bosses meant to be on the same difficulty tier, or are some far more dangerous than others? Will there be ways to increase the boss emblem difficulty, such as Uber versions? Are the emblem bosses static zones that don't have random rolls? If so, what motivates this decision to have static bosses versus randomly rolled ones, such as in Synthesis or Delve? Can you please explain how the Timeless Jewels function and how rare the Timeless Jewels will be? Which came first, the decision for a larger map device, which led into a 5-fragment boss, or the decision for a 5-fragment boss leading the other way? Since you're encouraging even further map investment, are you happy with the level players are currently engaging with investment options? This is with the extra slot, obviously. Incubators. Chris, since incubators were your idea, how did you come up with the system and what were you hoping to solve? With what we know, we currently see... add that in there, sorry. Currently see 2 options. 1, you drop an abundance of incubators where you can pick and choose what you would prefer to incubate, leading to a lot of inventory clutter, but meaningful decisions. 2, you drop too few and just put in whatever you have at any given time, with little clutter or thought. So basically, which one are we going towards? They've said it might be rare, which implies that it might be kind of mindless, and if it's mindless, then that doesn't seem particularly good. How do you make incubators feel impactful when they hatch, while also balancing the ability to have up to 10 going at once? Cool. What is the advantage of an incubator over a traditional item drop? This is more like a design question. I'm kind of curious just on his thought process to that. Will there be any audio/visual feedback when an incubator is completed? There have been some concerns, especially in terms of stricter loot filters, where players may not even notice eggs hatching. Especially when it comes to like the div card one, for example. Most people filter out most div cards. It could feel really bad. All of your eggs hatch. There's no like visual or audio feedback. Your filter fills out and you don't even notice. That'd be terrible. How did you guys determine the kill count numbers for various incubator rewards? Without saying the reward, what is the highest kill count? This could be a really fun question. Hopefully he's like 20 million. Will all incubators be kill count based, or some have different goals to achieve before hatching? Maybe like kill specific monsters or do a funny thing. Are there worries incubators will inundate players with too much management between gameplay? Even if they are rare drops, trade league players will feel compelled to stockpile them when purchasing mapping and resources. I'm going to put in bulk, because people will feel the need to buy them in bulk. 3.7 generally. With 3.7 introducing updated and accurate AoE visuals for abilities, has there been any further thought in reducing screen clutter? This was already a huge issue, especially in party play, that will only be worse than 3.7. What abilities are you most excited for as a player, aside from Cyclone from the melee rework? Alongside general melee changes, we've heard there'll be some passive tree and mechanical improvements to underused playstyles and weapon types, like two-handers, one-hand shield, etc. Could you give us some examples of the more interesting mechanical changes? Do you predict a diverse melee meta in 3.7? If so, how are you hoping to achieve this? With the rework to Mortal Call, have there been any changes to on-death effects to compensate? For many years now, players have used Immortal Call as a tool to combat mechanics such as porcupines. Talking about on-death effects at large, both from enemies and players in terms of corpse detonation effects, are you happy with how dominating they currently are? What is the fortified change Jonathan couldn't recall on the last episode? Jonathan's like, oh yeah, we've like crazy buff fortify. I can't remember what we did. It's like, no. What happened to Necromantic Aegis? Was it removed or moved? Since we don't see it in teased screenshots, if it was removed, for what reason? This opens up some like design-based questions, if it has been removed. Syndicate and Masters in 3.7. Alright, this is the thing that a lot of people really care about. Last time you were on, the question was asked, how do you reflect on Betrayal League itself, especially with the mixed community reaction? Going into Synthesis, you seemed fairly confident in the state of Syndicate. Has your opinion changed? One of the most overwhelming concerns we've heard going forward with all new leagues is regarding Betrayal's implementation into the core game, particularly with the unveiling system. How do you feel about this, and what are the plans to address this community concern, if at all? How can Tarke meaningfully engage with Syndicate, having to exploit systems such as Quarry? I want to do more Syndicate. I know I'm in the minority, but I want to do a lot more Syndicate. An often suggested system is allowing players to align with a specific master, causing them to shut more frequently and others less frequently. What problems would this sort of preferential system have, if any? PoE at large, this is like the future. Last patch was spells. This patch was melee. What's next? Ranged attacks, minions? Each league adds more mental overhead, more things to remember, and more content to progress through, requiring more playtime to get to where you were the previous league. Are you happy with this trend for the game? If not, what is the big picture approach on how you want to decrease information creep and time investment creep over the next year? What would you say towards the players who view this trend as being an attempt to forcibly increase player retention? In a game meant to be played forever, is this even avoidable? You've said in the past you'd like to trim down the amount of league mechanics in the game at any one time. Are we already past this bloated point, in your opinion? So yeah, that's basically the first rough draft. A lot of these questions might be cut because GG likes to put out posts. They might do a post which answers like all of the monolith questions. We will continue to adjust this, add and remove to it as we get closer to the episode on Saturday. And as always, it will be streamed live on my Twitch and then uploaded in full onto my YouTube channel here. If watching the full 1 to 2 hour episode is too long for you, we also do post YouTube highlights on Razor's channel as well. So yeah, check out my channel, check out Ryzer's channel, and we'll also be joined by a usual lineup of Ryze, Noogie, Octavian, and myself, alongside Chris, obviously. And follow me on Twitter for more updates. I'm Tarke. Have a good day. Bye-bye.